like we can run the table. I really do.
Giants looking for a stop. They're going to air it out. Rodgers does this better than anybody. End zone, Cobb, touchdown! Unbelievable! This to send the Packers into the NFC Championship game. It is good! The Packers are moving on. Aaron Rodgers has done it again.
Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom Grossi, and listen, if you've been following this show, you know that I have been looking forward to this week for a long, long time. We finally get to interview a Browns fan. I have never spoken to a Browns fan. I can't find any in New York, and this, I can't tell you how excited I am. And let's just get right into it. We have an amazing Browns fan with us today. We have Michael. Mike, how we doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm great. Man, I am so excited to talk to you because, you know, you talk to these fan bases like the Patriots, like the Steelers, right? Like who know, like they got multiple Super Bowl titles. They got all like the crappy Packer fans, you know. But you, my friend, are a diehard fan. Like you just... And I have to tip my hat to you, sir. Like, you are the epitome of what every fan should be.
Yeah, I question it every Sunday. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, man. I mean, like, right now, looking at just this season alone, right? We're working to get our first win, right? We're sitting at 0-12, and you know, I look back because when it comes to the Browns don't get the most media coverage. I think we would agree.
Oh, absolutely.
The last time you really heard a lot about the Browns was, of course, when Manziel was signed, and then that whole debacle went down, you know, and when he was playing and all that. But other than that, like, this is really a new experience for me because I was looking back at your records and like it's brutal, bud. Like I didn't know what to expect. But at some point, I was just like, "This is bad."
I think this past week set us an NFL record for worst 2-year span in NFL history. Actually,
you know,
because I think before was the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
I believe they were 2-26, and right now we're 1-27.
Like, I don't even know where to start. I really don't. I think where we should start this thing is, like, at the beginning. Like, of where everything just went wrong and how you became a Browns fan. Like, was it something that, like, you know, you ran into an old gypsy woman and you, like, took an item from her and it was cursed and so now you're forever, like, having to watch the Browns? Was it something that, like, your parents really didn't like you so they passed it on to you? Like, how did this happen?
So, I'm 21, so I haven't even seen any of the good Browns years besides 1 year with fucking Derek Anderson. But my dad was a Browns fan, and you can tell he's a Browns fan because he's always just like pissed off all the time, and I kind of just inherited that from him. So yeah, I've been a Browns fan since I was a little kid. I remember going up to the little Browns practices with my dad, and that was always cool, seeing Braylon Edwards drop every pass, and it was just a nightmare from the beginning.
So it's your dad. Like, he literally was just like, son, you're going to learn to hate the world real quick when you're a Browns fan. Like,
you pretty much hit it right there. I mean, pretty much I came out of the womb and he's like, here's some Browns gear, fuck the Steelers. That's not all I'm done.
Okay, you know what? I respect that. I respect the grit. I feel because, like, you know, listen, like these Patriots fans, right? They got it easy being fans because they got wins. You as you don't need no wins, right? You work hard for every single Sunday. And good God, man. All right, so you stuck with it. And again, my hat's off to you because this is a rough team to stick with. Like, you have that optimism every year because I feel like when the media is covering the Browns, they're like, okay, this is the year, they're gonna potentially make a playoff run. They got the team, that defense is clicking, they got some offensive guys. And obviously that has not happened, right? Like, and I looked this up. So you guys took a break, obviously, there, but in 18 years, you guys have 2 winning seasons. In 2002 and 2007. This is not like, oh, we're in a rebuilding mode. This is like, good God, we're in a drought. Like, please, for the love of God, like someone urinate on me to give me some liquid. Like
we've been in a rebuild since '99.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. So I mean, where do you even start with like how do you do it every single year? Like, how do you come back to it? And obviously, it's something that's been passed down. It's something that you're if you haven't left this team yet, it ain't happening. Like, I don't see you walking away from it. So,
oh no,
where do you like hang your hat and saying like, okay, this has given me some hope. This has given me some optimism.
I mean, honestly, it's tough every off season. As soon as we 16, like even now, like even if you look at our subreddit, we're talking about the draft.
Yeah.
We're talking about how we can make this team, better. I mean, it's hard. Half the time it's not even watchable. But, I personally like our front office and who we have in there now. I think that they're doing the rebuild the right way. Instead of just, like, getting a quarterback and then just having him completely destroyed, like Tim Couch.
Yeah.
Back in the early, 2000s.
Yep.
So I guess that's a little bit of like a rope to grasp onto in this journey with the Browns. A big thing that happened here recently was Josh Gordon.
Yep.
Like I turned on the game this Saturday and expected Josh to go off, and I thought he could have if Kaiser could have got him the ball, but it's just like I guess like little victories in there because we always managed to bring in like some decent free agents, and some of them either they're in like the end of their career or something. You're like, oh, he might do something, but he's not going to. But I mean, I don't know. It's just something that's like incorporated in you. It's your favorite team. It's your diehard team.
Yeah, and I have to think that like when it does happen, like when it happens, because I'm having faith now. When it happens that like you put all the pieces together, you get the combination you need in order to have a winning season to make a playoff run. That's going to feel pretty damn good.
It's going to feel unreal. I can't wait for people to call me a front runner wearing my Browns gear. Like, like all the Patriot fans and all that.
Yep.
I can't wait for that. I've been dreaming of that since I was like a little kid, but for in the foreseeable future, we're going to Browns it up, and that's kind of how we've been doing it since I've been alive. I don't know any different. So,
because like you obviously have some competition when it comes to fan bases, right? So you have you have Cincinnati, you got Pittsburgh, which is not too far away. So I have to think that like the Steelers, considering already how this conversation has gone, like they're your number one, like I hate you team.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Especially the Steeler fans that fucking live in Ohio. Nothing drives me more insane. It's so frustrating. Right now I live in Columbus, but I grew up about an hour from Cleveland, and I would say my friend base was like 50-50 of Steelers fans. I was like, why don't you guys live in Pennsylvania? Like, leave. Like, why are you here? And like I understand that like stores are going to like accommodate like all the other teams in the NFL, but like there's as much Steelers stuff as there is Brown stuff right now in like mid Ohio, especially in like Columbus, and that's so frustrating. It's like, cheer for your home team. I hate that. And the Steelers, they always talk about like all their like past Super Bowls and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, the Browns haven't ever been to a Super Bowl. It's like, oh, okay, well, fuck you.
Good day, sir. Yeah, I hear you. All right, so looking back at your team, right? I think the number one thing that I associate the Browns with is your search for a franchise quarterback. And I was reading like some ridiculous stat, right? Like, because they were talking about it with like the Eli Manning thing, that you guys have had like over 20 quarterbacks like in the span of him playing, which is like a ridiculous stat. So why do you think, is it just poor drafting? Is it they're not fitting the system? Is it they're crap? Like, why have you guys in particular had such a terrible string of not getting quality quarterbacks?
Well, I think when you go all the way back to even Tim Couch days when we first brought the franchise back to Cleveland, I think a big thing there was he didn't have anyone to protect him. He was just getting absolutely demolished, and I'm not going to say he could have been a good quarterback because I don't know how that would have played out. But I mean, that was an issue. More so recently, it's we're not drafting big name guys or bringing in big name guys. We've been trying to either sign some average free agent like a Robert Griffin and see if we can plug him in there and do well, or even Kaiser in the second round. That's I was kind of a little excited about that because he had some talent. So I'm looking pretty forward to that. But I think it's not enough talent around him, the players right now. I mean, the past couple of seasons, the receivers we've had to throw the ball to, we drafted a receiver in the first round last year, Corey Coleman.
Yeah.
And last season, he broke his hand halfway through the season, so he was out. And then the rest of the guys were a bunch of practice squad guys.
Yeah.
And same thing this year when he broke his hand again. We just had a bunch of people that we were signing off practice squads. I'm like, hey, go throw to these people who are dropping the ball left and right.
Yeah.
And it's hard to develop a quarterback when you don't have any supporting cast around him. And then we have a bunch of people that are really gung-ho on calling for the coach to be fired. And I don't agree with that either, because these players aren't getting a chance to develop because they have to learn new systems every 2 or 3 years. And then it's what do you how do you expect to grow a quarterback when they have to learn a new offensive playbook, new personnel, all that new stuff every couple of years? So I think that's kind of been our downfall, is just not any continuity at all and lack of talent.
Yeah, because you're not going to be able to build a consistent football team when everything around you is consistently changing, right? There's just no way that you can just plant your feet and be like, okay, we're going to give this quarterback a fighting chance. We're going to develop around him. He's going to be able to learn the system. Oh wait, we just lost our head coach, or or wait, we just got rid of half the team. So I think you're 100% correct. And in today's NFL, right, it's what have you done for me lately? So if you're not making immediate progress or change, you have people who are calling for people's jobs to be lost.
Oh, absolutely.
And you look at things I use the Giants as an example because the Packers, we never go to free agency ever. Sometimes frustratingly so. But you look at the Giants from last year who spent millions of dollars on that defense. And, they get it. They take an early wild card exit, and then this year they're absolute trash. So, you can spend all the money you want on these big free agent guys, but there's no guarantee that they're going to pan out. There's no guarantee that it's going to be another Denver Broncos situation where you just throw money at the problem and it's going to be fixed for a year.
No, I 100% agree.
So, I mean, with you guys, I think the number one thing that I got asked to ask you. So 2014, you get Johnny Manziel. The guy obviously, has quite the buzz about him. He is the number one selling jersey. He's got Rockstar written all over him, and he's supposed to be this amazing player. How are you feeling, when you drafted him? I think he was the 22nd pick in the first round. How are you feeling, when you got Manziel? Were you hopeful? Were you weary of okay, here we go again? Where were your thoughts at?
Well, the first thing that came to mind was when we drafted Brandon Weeden around the same pick a couple drafts earlier.
Yeah.
And how that was just a nightmare. And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe this guy will be different. Maybe he won't. So I went and I looked up some Texas A&M highlights of Johnny Manziel, And the one thing I noticed that I did not like at all immediately was him just like running out of the pocket, like full sprinting, just throwing the ball up. And he had Mike Evans to bail him out every play. And I'm thinking, we like this was, I believe Josh Gordon had just been suspended like it was either like a day before that draft or like a couple days after that draft.
Mm-hmm.
I believe is when he got suspended the first time. I could be wrong. Could have been the next year, but I think that was right when Josh Gordon got suspended. And we didn't have that Mike Evans sort of guy to bail Manziel out, and that's how it kind of played out. He was just kind of trying to like force things when he got to Cleveland, which was really just frustrating to watch. But as far as like drafting him at first, I was a little worried, but at the same time, I was kind of like excited, you know, like, hey, at least someone will write an article about us. That'll be cool.
Look, Mom, I'm in the paper. Yeah, I hear you. So, all right. So obviously, Manziel plays doesn't really live up to expectations. Do you think he got a fair shake in Cleveland? Obviously, there was a lot of like off the field issues, right? And his immaturity, you know, like potential assault charges, you know, the partying, all that crap. Do you think he got a fair chance, or do you think that he was let go a little bit too early?
I mean, that's tough because we had a guy in there, Brian Hoyer, who was from Cleveland, and he was like, he wasn't doing bad by any means, and I'm always like rooting for the hometown kid. So I didn't want Manziel to go in and like have Hoyer come out if Hoyer was doing like all right, you know, because like that could have been like Hoyer could have taken off, you know, and then it's like, you know, like, oh shoot, we got this other guy on the bench. What do we do with him? Like that's a good problem to have. But when Manziel went in for Hoyer, I feel like Manziel probably could have played a lot more to see like what we had with him. But I don't think that his like all of his problems that was off the field kind of like helped out by any means, because I believe he was late to a practice or something, and he like automatically got suspended for a game or something like that. And I would have liked to see more of him to see what we have with him, but it's just the narrative of the Browns, man. You know, we're never going to find a quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, with Kaiser, I mean, he's shown flashes of athleticism. I mean, I wouldn't put him in like he's god awful. I mean, he's better than some, you know, starting quarterbacks today, I would argue, or at least, you know, can compete with them. But he's a rookie. You know, he shows like those glimpses. He's still making dumb mistakes. But I mean, looking at it now, I mean, Josh Gordon came back, and you know, he could have gone off like you were saying. I mean, but I think he was at least caught 8 balls. You know, where do you see the Browns giving him an opportunity to excel, to progress? Because obviously, the way that it looks right now, you guys are going to get the number 1 pick again. And so is it like, okay, like here we go again with the QB carousel, or is it going to continue to be building up that defense? Is it to get more offensive help? You know, where are you at with that?
I think that what I would want them to do would be, regardless of how Kaiser does this year, say he leads us to so many consecutive wins and like we went out from like this Sunday on, which I don't see that happening, but like say he does, and he has like this, he has Josh Gordon, Corey Coleman, like, you know, a couple of decent playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, and he does good. I think regardless, we have to draft a quarterback with the first overall pick just to end all of the quarterback carousel and kind of like stop making us like the laughing stock of the league, you know. And then you know, the new guy we bring in, whether that's like Josh Rosen, Darnold, Mayfield, any of those guys, and Kaiser battle it out and let the best quarterback go up and win from there. But I think at this point it's better to have, say Kaiser does good, it's better to have like 2 good quarterbacks than 0 good quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I get you. Yeah, and I think that, again, you know, you guys are doing it the right way when it comes to rebuilding. You mentioned that before, in that, you know, you're trading draft picks, you're getting good value for it, you're getting multiple draft picks. And so when it comes to looking at what you think is needed most, besides a quarterback, you also have like Crowell, you have Duke Johnson Jr. Where do you see this team's like biggest holes? Is it on the defensive side, or do you see it more on the offense?
Well, I think wide receiver is a huge question mark, especially when we're talking about Josh Gordon, because I hope that he stays clean, but he's not a guarantee to stay clean, so you have to address that. And I would hope early in the draft, because Corey Coleman tells us now like a giant question mark as well, with him having 2 broken hand injuries in the first 2 years of his career. So I would say probably wide receiver. And then defensively, our front 7 has played pretty well. I believe at one point we were like the second-ranked rushing defense in the NFL. Secondary, though, I feel that could use a little bit of help. Maybe at either free safety or cornerback. I could see them using like a higher draft pick for him. But I think wide receiver, quarterback, and a secondary player will be addressed with the first 3 picks that we have.
Yeah, and I see that happening. So like when you coming into this season, right? When the season first starts, where were you on like the optimism meter of thinking like could this be the year that the Browns like at least make a run for it, or at least having a winning record? Did you see that as a potential, or were you kind of like, all right, we're doomed from the start here?
Personally, I was kind of expecting them to win maybe like 4 to 6 games. It was more or less seeing growth from the team, from like the players that we kept from last season to this season, and it was more like seeing how our draft picks are playing. Like David Njoku is doing really well. Miles looks great.
Yeah.
Jabril, that could be a hit or a miss. I don't know if he's in like. I don't know if like they're scheming to his strength, as well as what I think they could. But it was more or less just seeing like how our rookies are playing. I was excited about the Kaiser pick. Wanted to see Miles do something, because we haven't had an edge rusher in Cleveland in like years.
Yeah.
So I was really excited about the Miles pick, but I wasn't expecting us to like go out and like have a winning season or like get to the playoffs or anything like that. I think that could be a possibility in the next couple of years, with the AFC North kind of looking like they're getting older, and some people might be retiring, which would be good.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I stood with the season, just seeing how we progressed and using this as like a building block here to hopefully make like a winning season, or win like a decent amount of games within the next couple of years.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think it's a very like humbling thing, because the Packers obviously right now, like they're not going through the greatest of times. Rodgers is potentially coming back. Like your team is actually like the only team standing in our way of him coming back, because if we win out, there's potential that we can make the playoffs still, and there's talk about doing that. But even watching Sunday's game, and Brett Hundley, just good God, just doing terribly. And you hear the boos like, rain down in Lambeau Field. And then you compare it to Cleveland, and, correct me if I'm wrong, but like your fan base is passionate as hell. And when I'm watching you guys on TV, you guys at least look well attended, no?
Yeah. I mean, we definitely, I feel, have the most passionate fan base in the NFL. It's not a shot to any other fan base. It's just, we have a lot of people go to the games, and we travel pretty decent for the NFL, and we're still there supporting them, watching them every week, even though they've won 1 game in the past 2 seasons, and they haven't won a game on Sunday in a very long time. I feel that we, like I said, it's kind of like that scratch-off lottery ticket with the Browns. Like it's like that they are a scratch-off lottery ticket, and like you don't know what you're going to get with them week to week. They could either go out and play pretty good, and you're like, okay, there's hope. There's hope that we'll get this thing turned around, or it could just be a dud.
Yeah. Because, I mean, again, with like the humbling thing is that, when the Packers drop, like 4 games, and, people on the subreddit, the fan base is like ready to fire everybody and their mother. and say, like, this team is god-awful, and we're so bad, and yada, yada, yada. It's like, it's amazing almost of, like, how spoiled Packers fans and other teams are, and I don't think that you could truly appreciate, winning and how difficult it is to win in the NFL when you're in the position like you are, in that you've won one game in 2 seasons. Like, for any other, like, bandwagon fan, like, they would have hopped off, like, 2 years ago, and they're done. But you guys keep on coming back, like, year after year after year, and I really think that that's a testament to your fan base, and, like, I respect the hell out of you guys.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So that means absolutely nothing coming from me, like, at all. That's just like, you're just like, you know what? Like, you go back to Cleveland, and you're like, you know what, guys? This random guy on a Packers podcast said he respects us. let's take that into the offseason and build off of that. But yeah, and I think
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think it's incredible that you have such a league that is, oh my God, like, you're not winning this game. Like, we have one losing season. It's time to fire everybody. But you guys, after numerous losing seasons, continuously come back. You look for you said, the little things like Josh Gordon coming back. You see the flashes of athleticism. You see the draft picks that do pan out. And you're like, you know what? One day this team's going to be good. It might not be this year. It might not be for the next 3 years. But one day this team is going to be good.
God, I hope so.
Listen, if I talk to you for like 4 years from now, and you're like, Tom, you freaking piece of shit, you said that we were going to be good. We haven't won a game since I talked to you. Then I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I'm so sorry.
Oh no, I'd honestly expect it. 100% honest.
Yeah. So I mean, looking ahead, this is where we do like season predictions and then look at this Sunday's game. We'll do the season first.
Oh, Jesus.
And this is where like the other fans are like, yeah, I feel like we could split or go like, 4-1 or something like that. I'm going to be very direct. Do you think you're going to win a game this season?
I think there's a possibility to win 2 games.
Ooh.
Possibly. One, I think that we can beat the Bears.
Please do.
Yeah, fuck the Bears.
Every day.
But I think we could beat the Bears. Plus, it's on. I believe that's our New Year's game. We love to win on New Year's. Not New Year's, Christmas. I'm sorry, Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Okay.
Mix up the holidays.
It's all good.
But 2, depending on if the Steelers are in like surefire, like going to the playoffs, and they like play some of their younger guys, we might squeak a win out there, and it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but it's the last game of the season. Fuck it.
Why not? I mean, like, listen, I remember the celebration that your team had last year when you finally won that game. And I was just like, that's awesome. Like, that's amazing because, like, why not? Because, listen, I from a fan's perspective, the Packers have had bad seasons. They haven't had this bad season, but, at least while I was alive. But I played football back in the day for, like, my little league, and we did not win a single game all year. But the one time we scored a touchdown all season, we had a damn pizza party because damn was that not a great moment. So
no, I totally understand that. It's frustrating for me watching Kaiser on Sundays too because I played them in the playoffs in high school and they kicked the shit out of us. It was miserable. And then I see them on Sundays like, come on, do good.
Just be back in high school. Yeah, that's phenomenal. That's great. So I'm not gonna lie, I am absolutely terrified that you guys are gonna beat us on Sunday because Brett Hundley is so inconsistent. I don't know, like we were amazing against the Steelers, and I was like, oh my God, we could do it. And considering that there's the potential of Aaron Rodgers coming back after this game, and we'd still be in playoff contention if we beat you, and just how crushingly, like, I feel like bad things are going to happen if we lose to you guys. But I think it's incredibly possible. What do you see happening this Sunday?
Well, you talk about inconsistent. Have you watched any Browns games this season?
I can't say that I have. You guys haven't been on the prime time slots. I'm trying, but
oh no, you're fine. The thing is, our defense doesn't play bad. It's just they're out on the field like 75% of the time.
Yeah.
So they get tired toward the end of games. So if we can get if the Browns can get the run game going, which they're more than capable of doing, and if Josh Gordon can actually catch the ball if Kaiser can hit Josh Gordon when he's wide open,
Yeah.
I could see that being a possibility, us winning. But do I see it happening? No.
I'm terrified, Michael. I am terrified. Not because, we're losing to the Browns. That's not it. It's just we're so close to Aaron Rodgers. I have put all of my hopes and dreams in this basket. And if you guys just curb stomp that basket on Sunday, every podcast from now on for the rest of the season is going to be a very, very sad one.
Well, I mean, I am a big Aaron Rodgers fan when he's not playing the Browns, which isn't that much. So I'm hoping I get to see some more Aaron Rodgers. But if it means the Browns have to beat them, I can watch Aaron Rodgers next season.
I completely understand. And listen,
but the Packers, they are my team I cheer for in the playoffs because we haven't missed the playoffs for years. So I usually root for them.
There you go. All right, so you have backup teams just in case.
Well, I like to root for some team when the playoffs are happening.
Yeah, all right, I get you. You just draw brown helmets on them and just I could just imagine for just a moment. Yeah, okay.
I used to just put names in a hat and draw one out that would exclude the Steelers. Wouldn't have to worry about the Bengals because they can't make it past the first fucking round.
No, they can't.
But just try to make the playoffs fun to watch at least.
I get you. I hear you on that. Well, Michael, I have to say, this conversation exceeded all my expectations, and I am so happy to have gotten to talk to you. I didn't know what to expect. I figured, the fan I brought on was just gonna be like, all right, asshole. Just ask me your questions. I'll be out of here in 5 minutes and screw you and have a nice day. But this has been a fantastic time talking with you. Where can the people find you? What plugs do you got? Shout out all the things that you would like to shout out.
Well, I stream Madden on Twitch. You can find me on twitch.tv/HOLZYRS. My Twitter is at Holzy _ HOLZY_. And my buddy is a diehard Packers fan, told me to shout out his Twitter, so I'll do that too. Shout out to Tommy at Tommy Litch.
And he has a good first name. That's what a man. There's just a great first name and a great Packers fan. We will always appreciate that here. So, well, Michael, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I really do wish you all the luck in the world. Not this Sunday, any other game besides this Sunday, but all the luck. And I really hope that your team gets more media coverage. I hope that you guys, start kicking ass really, really soon. And you know what? I hope you get some bandwagon fans just so you could say I was here during all this and I'm a true fan, which you most certainly are.
Oh, I hope so. The only thing keeps me sane with football is Ohio State.
Listen, anything to keep you going. But I really appreciate you coming on, and good luck on the rest of the season.
Hey, you too, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. It's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
Take care. Bye. Whew. Well, that's our Browns fan, Michael. What a great conversation. What a nice guy. Man, that fan base, seriously, Packers fans, listen, respect what you have. Even if we don't make the playoffs this year, you could be 0-12 right now. And that's not crapping on the Browns. Just understand what you have in a team. I am certainly more humble for having that conversation. It's why I love talking to all these different guests. A great time. Go follow Michael. Go follow him on the social media. Check him out on Twitch. I forgot to ask him if he plays as the Browns in Madden. That would have been a good question. You could always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossi Comedy, or Tom Grossi Comedy on the Twitter. Check out Packcast, Packast. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, and of course YouTube twice a week. Every Thursday we release our weekly episode with our opposing fan. We also do our predictions episodes as well. But I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Packers fans, buckle up. After this game, Aaron Rodgers could potentially be back, and I am so excited, or my dreams are going to be crushed on Sunday. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grassi, and as always, go Pack Go.